Going from being a restaurant that just opened and to getting locked down, not being fully ready to do takeout, it really messed with us a lot. At that time when the shutdown happened, the restaurant itself was doing so well. We sold out for about a whole month straight when we first opened. You got the good stuff? I knew we were sacrificing quite a bit just by offering it to go. But given the situation where that was the only way people were able to get sushi, I think people were a little bit more forgiving. But it never occurred to us that we would have to speed up that process quicker, because on any given night we would do about 200 boxes to 300 boxes a night. So here we have Bluefin from Baja. So this is actually the backside loin. So this is mostly a kami. This is the tail part, this is the head part. My favorite part about butchering tuna is that I really get to know the anatomy. So usually in the backside you can only get two cuts mostly. The lean part, which is the top, you see it's lean everywhere. It's mostly red. And then the bottom half is mostly chew. If you look at the color here, see how it starts getting fatty? So it's redder here and then it gets a little bit more pink. That's considered chutoro, medium fatty. And probably chutoro is my favorite, just because it's a medium between the really fatty and the lean. This is otoro. This is the belly part of that bluefin tuna. Obviously, you can see all the fat on the marbling. You cannot go to any omakase restaurant and not have tuna. So one of the most important things besides knives is probably paper towels at the sushi restaurants. Paper is to wrap up the tuna to capture all the excess moisture. During the pandemic, obviously a lot of vendors closed down in the city, and then we were having issues getting a steady supply of fish. So then I said, well, maybe we can start looking to sourcing our own stuff. It was so hard to get tuna, uni, and then once we established our Japanese line, it was way easier to keep going. Bluefin akami, topped out with shiitake and a roasted almond and rice. When the pandemic happened very early on, nobody really wanted to come back, and it was very understandable. And that's where we got the idea about Sushi Robot in-house. But it was a really useful tool, and it still is. We used to do about 250 meals a day. With the machine, it was breeze. So after it rolls out, basically you just put the sheet here, put it down, and voila. So you can see it's super consistent. The Sushi Robot is a tool, and it's only as good as the person using it. It worked really well, and it helped us a lot in some of the locations. I don't think the robot will ever replace anybody. This is kamasu, Japanese barracuda. We char it, and then the fattiness that comes off it, it's just overall a really good fish. Usually kamasu, everybody sears it or broils it, or what they call it aburi. At that point, I realized, oh wow, we need something with a little bit of acid and also that same char flavor to accentuate even more. So I felt like, doing something like a tomatillo salsa would have been fitting. So Chef Andreas is right now gonna char some tomatillos and shallot. I always felt like this is like, I guess, a Japanese version of a molcajete. I think every culture has something like this. I started working sushi when I was 19. I'm 37 years old. So my background is I'm Mexican American. People ask me, do I use elements of Mexican cuisine on my sushi? To be honest, there's so many flavors that translate so well. And I was like, I'm just gonna use something that one of my own flavors. When we first started our to-go model, my partner wanted to do nigiri, and I said, okay, I was okay with the nigiri, but then he wanted to do toppings, what we were doing at the restaurant. So I was very opposed to doing toppings, just because I felt like they were gonna fall, and I felt like already the nigiri was not gonna travel well. It was a bit excessive, but he said, well, maybe we even have a restaurant afterwards. I guess I was wrong because people were buying it. So this is kamasu, Japanese barracuda with roasted tomatillos and a little bit of yuzu koshi. The amount of fish we get for the whole group is quite a bit. Just for instance, aji. Aji is a Japanese horse mackerel. Just per location, we probably get like 30 pieces per location on a weekly basis, 120 pieces a week. Some people cure it, some people salt it, some people do a vinegar bath, a quick one, not too much. I personally don't do that to aji just because I actually like just like the raw, fresh taste. It's like meditation almost. If you're like having a bad day, you just come here, you forget everything else, you just focus what's in front of you. Japanese horse mackerel, aji, topped with herbs and a little bit of miso sauce. I never imagined that I would be managing this many people in this short of a time. I know we're closed inside, but we should always maintain the standard. Let's get rid of the family meal. Let's clean up a little bit more. To-go has increased slightly. So yeah, so be aware that to-go might be a big factor today, guys, okay? All right, guys, let's have a good service. When we first started our to-go model, we ordered about 10,000 units in to-go containers. That really didn't last us anything. We adjusted again. The next quarter was 40,000. We haven't been able to keep up with our own demand in terms of boxes. It's a treat. We focus a lot on the packaging. It's another conversation we had that our packaging had to be really well done, and so far I think we've done well. There's a certain way we lay the sushi here. We actually lay them closely so when they ship, they don't move around too much, and we actually had dividers of bamboo to help, with the division of some of the stuff that's in here. I don't know what's going to happen to the to-go model after the pandemic is over. So these are questions that we're asking, the team is asking itself, how do we transition in these times to being just an omakase restaurant as we intended to be, or do we still have to keep evolving with the times? This is Amy. We just got an order for uni and she's currently packing it for us.
So this is a 200-gram tray of Hokkaido uni. We actually don't sell the Hokkaido uni right now, like on our menu. We only have Santa Barbara and Maine, but because we don't have both of them, we decided to ask the guest if they wanted to order Hokkaido, which is a little more expensive because it's a higher quality.
As regards to uni, we get 40 trays of Santa Barbara, 40 trays of Maine, about 20 trays of Japanese uni. I think people always joked around before the pandemic when I had a guest in front of me, oh chef, can I get a tray of uni from you? I usually just like giggle it off or something. Now that the pandemic happened, we're kind of, well, let's put it on the to-go platforms. When we locked down, to be honest, very, very crushed. It was more of a spirit thing. After so much hardship, just in general, even in my own personal life, I never felt so crushed in my life. This restaurant has evolved and grown during the pandemic. I'll take the hardship of the growth any day before I go back to locking down. My hopes for 2021 is to still be here. That's all.